All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is check this out, U.S. Marine combat veteran. Former state representative and driven entrepreneur. Not just an entrepreneur, driven. Recognize that? Driven entrepreneur who has, I lost my place, who is committed to empowering others with the mindset and discipline that's going to be needed to be able to rise from nothing to financial and personal success. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in? Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Jacob Salem Insider Secret Audience, let's welcome all the way from Oklahoma, Mr. Kevin McDugle.
All right. All right. What an awesome day. Guys, we get to be here with Zig Ziglar Group. Tom Ziglar speaking. I get to open for Tom Ziglar today. Isn't that awesome? Hey, this is my first speaking event, all right? So we're going to enjoy this, so hopefully you do. It's not my first time to speak. You see, as a representative of the state of Oklahoma, I got to speak for a lot of other people. I got to fight for a guy on death row who'd been on death row for 27 years and did not commit the crime. In fact, 2 of them. And guess what? The other one got off the death row. He's serving a life sentence. And the one I've been fighting for really hard went before the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court just 4 weeks ago sided with me against everything else and said, yes, we're going to get him off of death row. And so now he's got to go through another trial. But guess what? When he walks out of that place, it's a miracle from God, because there's no way that he should have ever walked out of that place. And he's going to be able to tell a story that's going to be miraculous. Hopefully we can get him here to go through the Jacob Salem training course now. That'd be good. So I want to talk about the millionaire mindset, but the warrior millionaire mindset. Everything that I do comes from my experiences, just like you guys. And I want to tell you this, because I truly believe this. Some of you are sitting here right now, even though you've gone through the Ziglar training, and your thoughts inside of your head are that you're not good enough, that you don't have enough, you don't have the resources that it takes to become what you really want to be. How many of you have dreams and ideas in your head? Just raise your head. Everybody has dreams and ideas in your head. Now think about this. If you have dreams and ideas in your head, why are they there? Your Creator, who knows you intimately, who knew you before you were born, that very spirit that's inside of you, knows you well enough that He's going to place those ideas and dreams inside of your head to get you to His purpose, to get you to where you want to go, to get you where He meant for you to be. And a lot of times we just think, I've got these dreams, I've got these ideas, I don't think that I'm good enough, I don't think that I have enough, I need a partner. There's so many things that can go through our head. And guess what? You've got everything that you need right now. Everything. And I want to tell you, if this guy, right here, this young man, let me tell you about this young kid. You know that he didn't come from wealth, because his parents, if they were wealthy, they wouldn't buy that shirt for him. There's no way. Grew up dirt poor on a small livestock farm in Morrison, Oklahoma, of all places, with no self-confidence, played football but sat on the sidelines, loved wearing the uniform but never really got to play, had self-doubt all the time. My mind constantly thought, you're not good enough. You don't have enough. You'll never be enough. Where do those thoughts come from? You see, if we leave our mind idle, those thoughts will exist. Those thoughts will exist. But what happened to that young guy? This young guy, full of self-doubt, got scared one time because he had a jar full of those lightning bugs. And his mom said, you need to take those outside. So as he's going outside, he trips over a stick that hits him in the leg. He thinks he got snake bit, dropped the jar, runs back in the house, right? No confidence. No confidence. And I wasn't redheaded. I don't know why it came up red. It was blonde. Just so you know. But that young man somehow fell through life, failure after failure, became a Marine drill instructor in the United States Marine Corps, to where he had to train Marines, to become basically trained Marines, to become combat veterans so that they can survive in combat. My whole job was to make sure they live. And a lot of times people think, well, the Marine Corps drill instructor, he's just mean. He has a purpose. I'll bet you many of you don't know this. As a Marine drill instructor, guess what they've got to do to become a Marine drill instructor? I had 3 combat tours by this time. And to be a Marine drill instructor, I had to start all over. They put you through boot camp again. But this time, instead of drill instructors, you've got drill instructor first sergeants, drill instructor gunnery sergeants. You've got these guys who had multiple combat tours, 20, 30 years in the Marine Corps, who are now grabbing you by the throat, ripping your patches off of your uniform, putting you through the same thing that you're getting ready to put those recruits through. And the reason they did that is by leadership by example. Leadership by example. They wanted to make sure the people who are training those future Marines knew and understood well. And I'll give you one example of that. They told us one day when we were going in for physical fitness training, telling us that, hey, today, don't worry about the bugs. You're going to be training inside, so don't put on your bug spray. Just come over. It's going to be a classroom environment, much like this. And we were going to sit and watch these drill instructors tell us how to conduct physical fitness training. And as soon as we get in the room, when we marched over, they're outside watering down the fields. And I thought, what are they doing? We get inside and they said, take off your sweats, shorts and shirts. We're going outside for formation. They got us outside where they'd watered down the grass so that the sand fleas would come up out of the ground. And you're standing at the position of attention, watching the guy in front of you stand at the position of attention, watching the sand fleas bite them on the neck, and when they bite you, your body cringes. Were they doing that to be mean? They were doing that to teach us empathy for the recruits that are getting ready to be in that same position. They were getting ready to do that. Now, one of the greatest things about being a drill instructor is all the things you learn about leadership. And I didn't realize it was playing out in front of me. You see, my number one goal is to make sure that person survives in battle. My number one goal is to make sure that they go home to their mom. My number one goal is to make sure that when the fog of war hits, like it hits many of us, and you don't know what fog of war is yet, but in combat, the fog of war is when you've trained and you've placed yourself in the position to win, and you've placed yourself to where you can fight for the guy to the left and to the right of you. You're in the perfect position, but everything's coming at you. You don't know where the rounds are coming from. You don't know where the enemy's fighting from. You don't know where the explosions are happening. Everything around you is a total fog. And you've got to rely back on your training to get you through it. That total fog of war. Here's the thing in life. We hit a fog of war a lot. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I became a state representative only after having a business for 20 years. We built a business from scratch, turned it into a $2.5 million a month company, nice. And then I got to a place that I felt lost. I didn't feel like I had a purpose. I didn't have that drive anymore. I left the company after 5 years, kept the company, hired a CEO to run it, and I traveled the country with Soldier's Wish to grant wishes all across the military for our Air Force folks, for our Army folks, for our Marines, for anyone who served. And then I got aggravated at the government. Nobody's been there before. Got aggravated at the government because they were wanting me to pay a $2,000 fee per employee to not provide insurance for them. It was going to cost us over $100,000 just to not have insurance. And so the guy that was running that bill was one of my state senators, and I said, you know what, I'm going to run against him. I put in $50,000. We ran the race. I lost my first race. I ran a couple years later into the state house and got there thinking I could go make change. If you ever want to go make change, don't go to the government for good change. I'm just telling you. 5 things I want to tell you about today. 5 steps to greatness. 1 is the power of the mindset. Why do you think as a drill instructor we embedded in them, in the recruits, that they were made for more? They were made for so much more. And some of them, they came from their mama's house and they were a mama's boy. Some of them came from the streets of New York and they were gangsters. Some of them came from every place you can imagine, gated communities, and some of them showed up with the clothes on their back and that's all they had. And you put 90 of them in a platoon, and you have 3 or 4 drill instructors, and their whole goal is to get this mess to act as a unit. And the number one way that we did that, and the number one way I can tell you that you can be successful, is to know who you are. To know who you are. Those recruits, when they came into boot camp, they had no idea who they were. But in 90 days, I got to sit in the seat to where I saw the greatest transformations in life, taking people from every walk of life. And 90 days later, they walk as a Marine. Their whole goal is to be a Marine. Not everyone made it. The ones that didn't make it, guess what they didn't have? The right mindset. But the ones that did, we told them, you know what? As a Marine, 300 Marines defeated 10,000 in the Battle of Chapultepec. 1 Marine defeated 1,500 in another conflict. And we tell them these stories about who they are. Well, guess what? Find out who you are. Find out the power that's within you. Find out that God-given spirit that's greater than he who's in the world. And he will take you further than you can dream or imagine. But you got to know it up here. People rise and fall by 6 inches between their ears. So mindset's so key and important. We've got 15 minutes. I can't dive into everything about mindset. But mindset's one of those key indicators that says, man, if you can think it up here, you can achieve it, I promise you. And you know what's great? Discipline is the difference. Do you think Marines are disciplined? They are. Do you know why? Do you think it's because of their drill instructor? Do you think it's because of their experience? Do you think it's because of their background? Why do you think they're disciplined? Drill. Have you ever seen people those platoons that march, and they say, column right, march, and they all, in perfect timing, hit the mark every time. The whole reason we drill in the Marine Corps is to teach discipline. We have a preparatory command, column right, preparatory command, and then the command of execution, march! And as soon as that command of execution happens, they execute. They execute. They execute. How many of you have ever gone on a diet and it lasted 3 days? Right? Sometimes we want to be a Marine on day 1. And it's a process. It's a process. Discipline happens small bites at a time. Small bites at a time. So, 3.5 years ago, I went through an organization called Mighty Oaks that changed my life. And Mighty Oaks, a friend of mine knew I needed it. I needed it. I didn't need anything, just so you know. But I needed it. My head was bigger than my body because of the things I'd accomplished. I thought that was a big deal. And it wasn't as big as I thought it was, right? And he told me, he said, Kevin, this organization really needs leadership like yours. This organization needs somebody who can speak. This organization they really need you, Kevin. We're going to send you out for free. It won't cost you anything, to California. It's going to be a 5-day deal. You don't worry about it. You just go. And I get out there and realize I've been tricked. It was an organization for PTS. And I didn't realize how much baggage I'd carried from combat before. I was away from home so much. I mean, I'd be 9 months at a time away from my family. And you don't realize how that affects you. But as a Marine, you're not affected by anything. You just drive on, right? So the way that I found help was by helping others. That's how I hid everything that I had. All the pains inside, all the thoughts, all the buddies I'd lost, all the war that was still in my mind. The way I kept it suppressed was to go help somebody else. I stood at the 50th memorial of Vietnam, and I told those guys to quit feeling sorry for themselves. Quit feeling sorry for yourself and get up and help the guy next to you. And guess what? It works. It works for a little while. It works for a little while. But I got there and they taught 4 things. They taught be in prayer, be in fellowship, be in the Word, and be accountable. 4 things. That was it. I'd never read the Word on a daily basis. I'd been in church. Church might get you to heaven. Actually, church doesn't even get you to heaven. I knew I was going to heaven, but I didn't have a daily discipline in my life to go to the guy who created me and say, listen, what's your purpose for me?
Nice.
That day when I came back, I started reading the Word on a daily basis. Every morning I made it a practice. It wasn't hard for me to get up at 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, because I was used to that as a Marine. So that discipline was there. But every day I said, all right, before I start my day, before I do anything else, I'm going to be in the Word. I'm going to be in purpose. I'm going to be in front of Him and say, what do you have for me today? Because guess what? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow doesn't matter yet. All I have is today. What do you have for me today? What do I need to do? Who do I need to serve? Who do I need to help? And that time in the morning, man, it changed my life. So discipline is the difference. And there's another 4-hour session we could go into there. But what's next? Your circle matters. Why do you think I'm here? To be in a room where people are better than I am. To be in a room where people have experiences that I don't have. To be in a room with people who are where I want to go. Now, I will tell you, you hear a lot of people say, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you that's true, except there will be a time, hopefully, that you're in a room to where you're helping other people get where you've been.
Nice.
And in that case, I'm probably still not the smartest one in the room, but at least I'm helping somebody else get where they want to go. Get where they want to go. So your circle matters. You know that. I promise you, you show me your 5 friends, and I'm just going to say this. If you're trying to lose weight and your 5 friends love eating hot dogs and bonbons and chocolate milk, chocolate shakes, you're probably in the wrong amount of friends. Get around people who are physically fit and let them encourage you. Right? You got to watch who those circles are. I've got multiple circles depending on what I want in my life. And those circles help me get where I want to go. If you want to do better at marketing, get in Jacob Salem's course. Find out how to do the marketing. I don't want to do it anymore. I let Jacob do it all. Tell him to do it. Accountability is armor. Accountability is crucial. You've got to be accountable to somebody. I forgot to mention, guys, this is my lovely bride, Mary McDugle. And she keeps me accountable. No, she does fantastic. But you got to have people you're accountable to, depending on what you want. If you're wanting to be a multimillionaire, and by the way, everybody in this room has what it takes to be a multimillionaire. You have it. It's not that far away, and guess what? When you get it, know that you can lose it.
Yep.
But the way you keep it is to give it away.
Yep. Amen, brother.
If you're fighting for money, you're fighting for the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But if you're helping other people get what they want, you're going to get what you want. He knows the desires of your heart. He knows what you desire. He knows what you need before you know it. Right? So be accountable to somebody that can hold your feet to the fire in the area of discipline that you really want to be held to the fire on. The reason I say it's your armor is because they're the ones that's got your back. Right? Have you ever noticed that the armor, especially the armor in the Bible, there's nothing on your back? It's all forward facing. We're not supposed to be in a defensive position. And people who hold you accountable, they're going to watch your back as you move forward, as you take ground, as you get to the next level.
Nice.
They're going to be the ones to help you get there. Mission is bigger than money. The mission is bigger than money. If your mission is not bigger than money, you got the wrong mission. Your purpose, your God-given purpose, is not to go get more money. Your God-given purpose is bigger than that. It may be to go get money so you can give it away. I really believe that my whole mission is to go talk to business people so that they can give more money to their local church, so the local church can feed more people, clothe more people, take care of the poor, take care of the needy, do the things that they were called and meant to do instead of just preaching a good sermon. If we can get business people to give to their local community, we won't need government to take care of us, because we will be the responsible ones to help out, to love others, love Him, to love each other more. Guys, thank you so much for listening. You did so good. God bless you. Hey, brother. Appreciate you, man.